We're on Beach Road. I've just left the studio. I found this little spot in Port Melbourne. I've done a series in Port Melbourne. The images that I took won me Victorian Landscape Photographer of the Year last year. And driving past a little while ago, I sort of eyed a little scene that I think could be something quite nice. So set up there and then head out and hopefully end up with a nice shot.
What I love about photography is it takes me to places at times of the day I wouldn't normally go. There seems to be a misconception about photography that you have to go to great exotic places. And don't get me wrong, I love to travel. Travel's one of my favourite things, but let's not overlook our own environment close to home. Some of my most successful images have been shot within 15 minutes of my house. Even though I've been to this location many times, it doesn't matter how often I go there, I always find something new to photograph. I like to look at my environment and try and photograph differently to what I see with the eye. I try to put my own interpretation on it. Therefore, I do a lot of long exposure work. And I use things like 16-stop ND filters to really slow down the scene. I use an app called Viewfinder Mark II. It's a great little app and it enables me to load all of my cameras and lenses into it, and then it lets me pre-visualise what lens I'm going to need to get the result that I want. Why this is really handy is when I get there, I don't have to actually sift through lenses and so forth. I know exactly what lens I'm going to use and I travel light from the car to the location. I like to shoot and get most of it in camera. I do very little retouching. I like to come back, have the image and fine-tune it on a good quality monitor. BenQ introduced themselves to me a few years ago and asked me if I'd like to try one of their monitors. The BenQ monitors punch way above their weight in performance and are probably half the price of comparable monitors from other brands. So what I'm using at the moment here is the SW320, which is specifically designed for photographers, and it has all the things that a photographer needs. First of all, it's 32 inches. It's really big. It's a lot of real estate. Secondly, it's 4K. It has a lot of resolution, so I can see every scrap of detail within my files. It comes with its own viewing hood. A lot of other monitor manufacturers charge you extra for that. It comes standard with the BenQ, and that's used to block out all the ambient light that could be affecting the colours that we see on the screen. It also comes with its own software suite, which enables me to create perfect profiles every time. But most importantly, and the most important thing, is that it's colour managed. So I can calibrate this monitor and I can show full 99% of the Adobe RGB gamut, which to me is the vital link. I can then make accurate assessments about my prints on screen, and at the end of the day, when I'm printing, I know that what I can see on screen I can reproduce on paper, and that to me is number one. As an Ilford master, it's really quite obvious that printing is very important to me. I love my photography, but unless it's printed, it's not really a photograph. In the digital age, there are so many photographs taken, in fact more photographs than any other time in history, but unfortunately such a small amount of them are actually being printed. We're going to have nothing left for future generations. There'll be no snapshots of families anymore. They'll be kept on phones and hard drives and lost when that technology becomes obsolete. When we print a photograph, it's real, it's there for life. I print on archival papers with pigment inks, and I know that my images are going to be around for generations.